James, you wear a lot of hats. You're a veteran and household chef, a self-taught barber and dream chaser, and student. You're an ander. At National University, we see the whole you. That's why we've created online and hybrid programs that flex to help you balance your full life, so you can focus on what's right in front of you. National University, supporting the whole you. Learn more at nu.edu.
This is VSiN By The Books on VSiN, the sports betting network.
We begin hour number 2. I am Dave Ross here, Circus Sports Fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Our closer, Jensen, was back home in Cleveland, Ohio. Much more NFL draft talk that we're going to get to. Of course, going to have the King of Connecticut join us in hour number 3. Will Hill's going to join us. And a look from Beau Rivage is Carl Johnson, kind enough to join us here later on this show as well. But we did have a lot to get to. Talked a lot of baseball so far. Obviously, we'll get down to more team breakdowns. Going to try to get to every single team before Thursday. But hour number 2, it is time for our highlights and headlines.
Help your bottom line with today's highlights and headlines.
Shout out to the Long Shots crew. Kelly Bidwin, back-to-back. I know he's on vacation, but he's got his toes in the sand. He's got another winner with Justin Thomas getting a win here. So hopefully, VSiN Pro subscribers, you tailed that. I saw one boost on Thursday pre-tournament out here. William Hill had him 24-1 to win this thing, and he gets it home. It was not easy. Gets it home in a playoff. Ends a 3-year scoreless and winless drought, and he had not won since winning the PGA Championship. The last time he won happened to be a major. Oh, by the way, the PGA Championship is next month down there at Quail Hollow, so really good vibes for JT. You saw the tartan jacket that he's got, and it was an emotional win. First playoff hole against Andrew Novak, and he drills a good 20-footer to win this thing, never in doubt, right in the heart. I think it's been a really good couple weeks for the PGA Tour. Rory McIlroy gets the Grand Slam by winning at Augusta last week. We know how much the network execs love that. Justin Thomas, not too far behind from a popularity standpoint, a back-to-back big-time winners at an elevated event on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, and also now, and kind of looking at it, by the way, what a crescendo into the final round, too, because of some of the hard charging guys at the end. Siwoo Kim, by the way, he might be on the ban list for me. I took a little bit of some shares with a DraftKings boost I had for him. Like, all right, I'll jump on the favorite. I'll jump on the guy that is leading headed into the final round. No show for me with him. So ultimately, overall, you look at where now Justin Thomas is upcoming, right? PGA Championship coming up. In at his number at 18-1, where would you need to be now that he has? We've had back-to-back weeks, right? Rory gets the huge elephant off his back. Now can kind of breathe a little bit. All right, we're good to go. Justin Thomas, first time to win in 3 years. Is there a number for you on JT that you would at least want some shares of in an outright market, especially coming up for the PGA?
Normally, I don't like to play these type numbers when they're that short. But 18-1 right now at Quail Hollow, a golf course he's had really good history at as well. Obviously, Rory has owned that place too. So Rory is 5-1 with Scottie Scheffler, who, oh, by the way, is 0 for 2025. So again, another, he dropped a double bogey late for Scottie. He was like 2 off the lead coming down the stretch here, and then he has a double. He's another bogey on 17, finished in the top 20. So like weird things happening with Scottie all of a sudden. Look, the guy was still in the top 5 for the majority of the tournament. I get that. But you're just a little bit surprised by that. I don't think 18-1 is a bad number on JT. I mean, he's putting's been the thing, right? So when that putter is hot like it was yesterday, really tough guy to beat. And again, Andrew Novak played really well down the stretch as well. My guy, Mav McNeely, had a 100-1 ticket on Mav, didn't get home, finishes a couple back, but really proud the way that kid's playing out there week in and week out on the PGA Tour. 18-1 for JT next month. Could be an intriguing number. Again, all the long shots guys, they'll break it down as well. But I do not mind that number, Jensen, at all. And oh, by the way, I saw this yesterday and thought of you when I was watching. I know you like to bet British Jesus and Tommy Fleetwood. I like to bet little Denny McCarthy. Those two guys have the distinction with the most starts on the PGA Tour without winning on the PGA Tour. Tommy Fleetwood and Denny McCarthy, two guys we love, but they have not been able to break through just yet.
Yeah, I think I got to let him go. It's time, Tommy. Yeah, if you come back and you beat me, you beat me. But no more hard-earned U.S. dollars on British Jesus, that's for sure.
Tariffs on Tommy.
Tariffs on Tommy.
We saw something down at the Alt event, right? Because this was an elevated event on the PGA Tour, what we saw at the Heritage. And by the way, what a beautiful golf course it is. And they talk about the history and how much all the guys love going there to play Harbor Town. If you don't qualify for that, you got the opportunity to play in the Punta Cana tournament. And not a bad consolation prize if you saw those sights and those sounds and you're right there in the ocean and it's beautiful and the whole bet, right? This looked like, because JT opened up at Harbor Town with a 61 and a par 71 on Thursday. Joel Damon opened up also with a course record at Punta Cana. He shot 62 on Thursday on a par 72 course and had this lead all the way through until he didn't. Jensen. He closed bogey, bogey, bogey to lose to Garrett Higo. Congratulations to Higo. He's sitting there expecting a playoff, hoping for a playoff. He doesn't even need a playoff after this gack by the end by Damon. And it was highlighted by a 2-footer on 17. I mean, Jensen, when I see those things from athletes, I go, oh my goodness, what just happened? We talk about choke, and we use that term. It's hard to win. We get it. And sometimes your body physically takes over for you on the mental side. Let's hear from Joel as to what happened down the stretch.
It's not how you win a golf tournament, I'll tell you that. I don't deserve to win it. I don't know what happened on the short one on 17. I mean, I'm obviously nervous, but unfortunately I'm prone to that at times. And 18 is just a really hard hole, man. We had 220 pin and wind surfed on it and hit a very average chip. I hit a good putt. I actually thought it was a straight putt and broke a little left on me. And all of a sudden I wake up and I lost my golf tournament.
Oh, okay. So many layers here that we're going to get to. One, good on you, Joel Damon. Anti-Rory McIlroy, anti-Colin Morikawa. You face the music at the hardest time. It endears people that watch and or bet on you to go, man, do I feel for that guy. You know what this is like as an athlete. Tell me what he's going through where he says I was nervous and basically says I couldn't control my body.
You have instances, Dave, where you can feel it leave you. It's the scariest thing for an athlete at the highest level. And, we've all gone through it. It's a helpless feeling. There's no other way to describe it, that what you've done, I make the analogy like this. You don't think about breathing, you just do it. You don't think about walking, you just do it. And it's the same way, like he just doesn't think about hitting a golf swing. I don't think about throwing a baseball. Like I've done it millions and millions of times. But there are points where it just leaves you. And it is the scariest feeling because there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do except try and get out of there as fast as you can. And ultimately, it ends up costing you on the field. And on the flip side, there have been days where you can't hit a bad shot. You can't throw a bad pitch. Like whatever you pick, whatever you throw, it's where you want. It is just the weirdness of the human element of sports. It is just phenomenal for him to stand up and say it. We've all been there. But man, you feel for him, and hopefully he's going to be fine headed into his next tournament.
And I love the brutal honesty of like, this one is going to be hard to get over. Like, and it is. And Kyle Morikawa didn't play well again this week. But again, these are little things where these are so easy to do. Just to take the time to give us that nugget and that insight as to what happened. We want to hear it from you. So Joel Damon, I tip my bucket hat to you if I had it. And he didn't wear the bucket hat on Sunday. Yeah, maybe that's why he lost. I don't know. He went with the traditional. Go back to the bucket hat where you shot a 62 on Thursday. That might work. We got a couple games, obviously, the NBA tonight, the Pistons and the Knicks, and the Clippers and the Nuggets. Jensen, you've got some leans, but not plays as of yet.
Yeah, gonna recheck the numbers. As many of you know, VSiN Pro subscribers will add throughout the day. What stuck out to me for the NBA games tonight, the over in that Pistons and Knicks game, about almost a 30% differential, 35% of the bets, 64% of the handle. So again, kind of leans more towards where that play might be. Also, the Nuggets getting +1, and also that in of itself, an opportunity to maybe take advantage of a Clipper team that's going to have some desperation. Right. And it's the way that the Nuggets were able to win in that game one scenario, an opportunity to go up 2-0 to home. So both teams kind of looking at one way or another. Clippers don't want to go down 0-2. Nuggets an opportunity to take advantage of home court. So those are my two NBA leans at the moment.
If you want to get in on some serious prices on a couple of these, and obviously you look at the Clippers and the Nuggets here, and after Denver gets that overtime win in game one, if the handicap is the same, you didn't expect the Clips to go out there and get a sweep here, would you hop back in now, or do you go, man, that was a tough one because you lose it in overtime? Maybe one we felt like, Russell Westbrook hits a 3 down the stretch. You don't expect that. If you're certainly the Clippers, would you want to hop in now on the Clip joint going forward?
Yeah, I would. And again, full disclosure, I have a future on them at 35-1 to win it all. I do believe that they find a way to make this a series, and whether that is tonight or whether that is when they go back home. Still, again, wanting to wait and see perhaps if some of that money in your idea there, Dave, if it does end up moving towards the Clippers. No play for me yet, but definitely want to see where it goes from here.
Right now, Clippers are plus $1.10 to win the series, minus $1.30 here on the Nuggets, which shows you the books are not giving you a whole lot of discounts, even though they did lose game number one. Playoffs, of course, they're all set. We're all rolling. VSiN's got a Killer Sports NBA Playoff Challenge. How about this? We've invited 15 sharp minds from the world of VSiN and Killer Sports to go head-to-head, making 38 picks each from the start of the playoffs all the way through the finals. That's a total of 570 NBA playoff picks available to all of our VSiN Pro subscribers. Picks are locked in an hour before each game every day, so you're going to have fresh insights to guide your bet every step of the way in the postseason. Right now, full access to VSiN Pro through August 1st for just $59. We are back with more in a moment.
You're tuned in to VSiN By The Books, right here on VSiN.
We continue the Monday edition of VSiN By The Books. Dave Ross, Jensen Lewis, and Danny does a great job helping us with the show here day in, day out. Told us a little story as we were talking about Joel Damon in the last segment. That I said, if you had a Joel Damon ticket, I don't know how many people had a Joel Damon ticket. Danny knows somebody that had a Joel Damon ticket. And not only did he have a 40-1 on Joel Damon to win, but his wife is giving birth. They're in labor. He's at the hospital, and he's watching this meltdown of his 40-1 ticket. Now, you get the beautiful part of life, right? So it's a great day. But I wonder if there's always going to be in the back of your mind, boy, when my baby was born on this day, oh, yeah, that's the day Joel Damon went bogey, and could have been a nice birthday present for the youngster here on day one into the earth. And Jensen, yet, I wonder if it'll always be a little bit synonymous with that Joel Damon meltdown.
Oh, boy. Not the way you wanted to go. Sorry for your loss. But, hey, net positive.
Net positive.
Birth of the child?
There
Absolutely.
we go. It's got to be a win. It's still a win, but it could have been a really big win if Joel Damon didn't collapse. Let's get back to Major League Baseball here, as we like to do with this edition of the Daily Diamond. I asked it of Cody Decker, and this is not the, Mets fans. I'm good. 1986 will always sustain me. It's one of the greatest years of my childhood with the Mets.
Yes.
Somehow the magical Mets coming back and beating the Red Sox. I was not of sound mind in 69 when they won their first World Series. That's it. That's all the Mets fans got. We got 69, we got 86. If this is going to be a magical year for the Metropolitans, it's coming from the pitching staff, and I'm a big fan of Kodai Senga. What are you seeing from Kodai so far in this young season?
All right, so to start off this Monday edition of Daily Diamond, I did do a little play on words. I went Senga-sational because Kodai Senga has been sensational in every sense of the word. How about 19 straight scoreless innings now from the Mets ace after his last outing over the weekend? You mentioned the Mets overall. That bottom point for you, they do lead MLB in team ERA overall, but more importantly, the lowest rotation ERA, and is just considering the injuries they've had to go through, losing Montas, no Shamanaya thus far. I mean, that's heady stuff. We didn't know we were going to get from Clay Holmes. He's been as good, if not better, than advertised coming out of spring training. I did throw in there 45-1. If you want to jump in the National League Cy Young market, traditionally we've seen a narrative-based award, and especially if you pitch for a New York team, you're going to get a bump there. So I think he was upwards of, I'd have to go back and double check and see what he eventually closed at to start the year. But 45-1 for a guy that is rolling right now, not a bad thing to add to your portfolio at this point.
No, and this guy won me over last year in the playoffs when he was still hurt and he came back and he tried to pitch. And Jensen, you know what this is like in a clubhouse. And you knew, and by the way, he was not the opening day starter. So they gave him some extra rest even to begin the year this year. So what do you make of that? That the mentality of Kodai is, give me the ball. And so far, I've loved what I've seen, obviously, so far this year. It's been spectacular. But, you know, I think Met fans are going, is he really an ace? He's really an ace, right?
He's an ace when healthy, and that's the bottom line. He'll take the ball when he's healthy and you're feeling great. Any pitcher will. It's going to be the middle months here where we really get that litmus test from not only him, but also this Mets rotation as well.
Yep, that's what it told me, is that he wants the ball even when he's not healthy, like he did last year in the postseason, try to help the team win. Cannot wait. You get Montas and Minaya back. Could be an interesting year down the stretch here for the Metropolitans. What do you have today with early baseball in Beantown?
All right, Marathon Morning, for those that are not initiated, welcome to it. A tradition unlike any other in Major League Baseball. The Boston Marathon today, and also that means early baseball at Fenway Park. The only time you'll find in 11 a.m. Eastern, first pitch. All right, so it'll be the White Sox and the Red Sox today. Ironically, the White Sox have actually handled the Red Sox on the handful of days that they have played on Patriots Day. Last faced them in '94. You heard Cody Decker earlier in the first hour. I also circled Alex Bregman. Good career numbers if you want to jump in on Bregman to get a hit, maybe 2 total bases. I also have added in Pocket already. If you're a VSiN Pro subscriber, you've got this play already. I did take the White Sox plus 1.5 at plus money, kind of also playing off of Cody saying that under may be a play as well. So do like the White Sox plus 1.5, getting plus 110 going up against Walker Buehler this morning, Dave, not this afternoon at Fenway Park.
And again, you'd rather pitch on a day like today versus the hitters, as Cody Decker alluded to in hour number 1. Sometimes, man, you're like, it's so early. Is it advantage pitcher early?
You could look to a first 5 under. Absolutely. And it's just, again, there have been days where it's been super cold, where you're like, oh God, like I got to get up and get going. So if you're a starting pitcher, yes, you absolutely love it. If you're a reliever and it starts to warm up a little bit, hey, have your wits about you, because everyone is now fully awake at that point. So early on, could see the starting pitchers benefit.
We know that maybe the Padres, you can make it the argument. We knew they were going to be good, but they've been really good so far in the early part of the year. So have the Tigers here as they begin a series in Detroit today. What have you got on this one, which is an intriguing matchup?
All right, so not tattooing the baseball, Dave, but tatising the baseball for the San Diego Padres. Fernando Tatis Jr., the eventual game-winning solo home run that gave the Padres the lead in Sunday Night Baseball last night. They are going to be in Detroit to take on the Tigers beginning this evening. How about the career numbers that Tatis Jr. has against Jack Flaherty, who will toe the rubber for Detroit? 7 for 10, 4 doubles, a couple of home runs. Tatis swinging the bat as well as anyone right now. So offering some 2+ total base props to record a run. I think those definitely in play if you want to take Fernando Tatis Jr. tonight.
I love how much Mets stock you got in there. I don't know if it was just for me or not, but the polar bear, man, has he been worth every penny and then some. So glad they re-signed him. What do you have on Petey today?
Off to a massive start. The Polar Bear is offensively, and it could get even better tonight. Showdown series here between the top two teams in the National League East currently. The Mets and the Phillies will do battle, and it's Aaron Nola on the hill for the Phillies tonight. Dave, sometimes you just look for matchups, and they just present themselves, and you don't have to overthink it. Here are the numbers. Pete Alonso career, and it's about 50 plate appearances plus. 327 average, 3 doubles, 6 bombs. Jump in on the total base market. If you want to jump in also, it'll be plus money to record an RBI. I think those are great player props to look at for Pete Alonso in this matchup this evening.
Polar Bear had a triple over the weekend. It kind of went viral for the way he rounded second into third. I don't know if you saw it, Jensen. It was like Polar Bears, they run funny. Pete kind of runs funny, right? Like it's a big man to get all that weight going.
Not an ideal. If you're a track star, you're looking at this and saying, how is that amount of human still going in that direction the way the legs are moving there? So Mets fans don't care because the way he's swinging it, he can run however he wants.
Give me the energy that the Polar Bear is bringing in that lineup each and every day for Petey. It's been a great start to the season. By the way, again, if you want to know all the money and the splits are going each and every game, unlike other sources, our betting splits come straight here from Circa behind me, and also DraftKings Sportsbook is going to give you insight into where the sharp action is going and where it's landing. So again, Circa is known for taking the biggest bets from professional bettors here in town, while DraftKings provides a broader market perspective. That means you're going to get the real action, not just public money, but the kind of wagers that moves lines. You can see the percentage of bets versus the percentage of handle on every game across every major sport. It's going to make you a better bettor, more informed as well. So get VSiN's summer special right now for just $59. That's going to last you through August 1st when you go to VSiN.com/subscribe. Not only the NBA playoffs that are underway, but obviously the NHL as well. And our guy JD joins us weekly here during hockey season and certainly during the playoffs. Jonathan Davis at West Coast Hockey, HKY, tweeted this to us, and it bears knowing at least. Again, trends can be your friend, but in the betting market, you should know them. Quick Stanley Cup playoff recap from JD. Favorites, 5-0. Home teams, 4-1. All 5 faves have covered their team totals over 3.5 goals, and all 5 favorites have covered that puck line. How about that? Laying the goal and a half. And again, it was dicey for VGK to get there, but boy, did they ever with 1/10 of a second to go. But what about that? Faves, it feels like the year of the favorites, right? It happened in the NCAA tournament, happening so far in hockey too. And if you want to get a little bit juicy with it, lay the goal and a half, and the favorites are covering those so far too.
Yeah, and I was just kind of looking at some of the matchups for tonight, and ironically going up against those favorites. The Stars, boy, have they looked just awful.
Yep.
But that might be you got to stand up at some point, right? And it's not Game 7, but it certainly feels like the Stars would need it. So maybe take the puck line there, plus 1.5 at home. The Oilers also plus 1.5 as they get their series underway against the Kings on the road tonight. Just looking at potentially if you want to fade the favorites, maybe tonight is the spot to do it. But man, with 0.1 seconds, your VGK puck line better and an over better. Wow. Early Christmas present.
Almost the same in the bank account if you took that over. JD, we appreciate that nugget as well. Great information there. When we come back to the NFL draft, what are the Buccaneers going to do as we begin the playoff teams that made it a year ago? That's next. VSiN By The Books.
You're tuned in to VSiN By The Books right here on VSiN.
We are back. VSiN By The Books on this Monday edition. Hour number 3 coming up. We're going to have Will Hill, the King of Connecticut, and Carl Johnson down there at Beau Rivage. So we'll see how the books are getting ready for the Thursday NFL draft. As I walk in each and every morning here, bright and early in Las Vegas, sun is still down. You know the first thing I do. Of course, I have to have my coffee. Yes. After that, I check the big board behind me here at Circa. What is front and center? Of course, it's the NFL draft, baby. It is up. So you're starting to look at those props in the first round. That's going to be the popular picks out there. I look at now as we get to the playoff teams, we're going to cover every single team as we've done so here starting last week into this week to get you ready for the draft. And now we get into that 19, drafting at 19. And these are the playoff teams now. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, again, winning the South last year. To do it again this year, it's even money. Interesting. The total is 9.5, juice to the under at $1.15. You look at their needs. You looking at defense here, edge rusher, safety, corner, linebacker. And everybody could always use an offensive lineman, that's for sure. But boy, feels pretty, for Todd Bowles and company, pretty outlined and detailed. They're looking defense. You got 19th overall, then back in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 7th rounders, all with one pick. And Jensen, something I mentioned to you during the break, I look at Todd Bowles and I kind of marvel at what he's done post-Brady, right? So Bruce Arians is there, you win the Super Bowl, and then Bowles takes over. And you felt like he was on a hot seat a couple years ago, and now all of a sudden, the dude just wins. Right, he took, and I know that Liam Cohen's not going to be there now. He's already gone as the offensive coordinator. But I think Bowles has done a really good job post Brady of this team not only getting to the postseason but winning divisions. What do you make of Tampa, and do you think they will go defense in that first round?
Yeah. Okay. So at least the initial mock drafts had that, and again, we make the caveat at this point, Dave, of. It's a great trade up spot for teams that want to get back in. Is it a trade back for Tampa? But kind of looking overall at what they would need, linebacker, an aging linebacker room, right? You would think that is something they address with the edge part. The secondary too could use a little bit of help. Again, not just getting into the postseason on the NFC side. You're now kind of game planning for, all right, the Philadelphias and potentially if San Francisco finds a way in, where can you possibly match up? We obviously know with Detroit's offense, what you're going to have to go up against the Rams in their passing attack still. So I think that those are two ideas to go with. Also, just understanding where the rest of their offensive line is. They're probably in a decent spot there, not needing it as much. But you could almost pick a name out of a hat from wherever the defensive side is, whether it is edge, cornerback, safety, linebacker, anyone and everyone, at least for the first pick and maybe even round 2 as well.
We mentioned it. This is where you can get plus money. If you just want to, without a name, you just want to go with a position here at DraftKings right now. To draft a D lineman and or edge rusher, that's plus $1.50 with that first round pick. Linebacker, plus $1.90, 40 cents. That's the only difference there. Now they go corner, it's 4-1. Offensive lineman, again, plus $5.50, and then back to safety at $9.50. So again, 4 of the 5 betting options here are for defense. And it does feel like I'm with you in the linebacker spot. Boy, the demise of Devin White, who's bounced around the league here since that Super Bowl, is wild to me. But Levante David keeps churning it out year in and year out at that linebacker position. But they probably do need to get younger there. Again, when I look at if you're going to bet win totals at 9.5, and do you want to bet on Baker Mayfield? Because are we out of the doubting Baker Mayfield game? I think you can make the case that certain quarterbacks, Geno Smith out here in Vegas, Sam Darnold now in Seattle, Baker Mayfield now in Tampa Bay. These guys are now well-traveled, and yet they've kind of found that fountain of youth. What do you make now of who Baker Mayfield is in the lineage of NFL quarterbacks?
I think he's always bet on himself, and even here in Cleveland, when he kind of had to go through, I don't know what other quarterbacks could handle a different OC, every year, relearning a playbook, a call sheet, trying to go through the nuance that it is just to play the position, let alone have a grasp of what you're doing and really refining what those plays are and what makes you a great offense. So the continuity, I think, has allowed him to be much more successful. Let's face it. You got Hall of Famer Mike Evans.
Yeah.
That's a great guy to throw to. You got a guy in Chris Godwin who had been so productive. You have a semblance of a run game that now could essentially be a two-headed monster. And Bucky Irving surpassing to take the lead role last year is going to be one of the best 3-down running backs in football. So all that being said, you also team it with that division. Think about the difference in Division 2 now, Dave. I mean, going from the AFC North where, God, you're in it no matter what the Steelers roll out there. They're going to be a tough defense to beat. Same with Baltimore. Cincinnati, you may have to win some shootouts. Not the same resistance you see in the NFC South. And that's all credit to where, Todd Bowles has had this group. He doesn't get enough credit, as you talked about. But going up against Carolina, feel a lot better about it. Going up against Atlanta with a rookie quarterback, or at least in year one of being a full-time starter, feel pretty good about it. So it's the pathway in, but once you're in, it's about advancing in the tournament. And that's where I think they've got to be this year from a mindset standpoint. Not necessarily the last dance for Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, but you're getting to that point where how many years do you have left they can be productive at this level?
I look at them too, and if you go back, I believe it was week 2 last year, they went to Detroit early and kind of beat them up. And they did. They played good physical football defensively too against that juggernaut offense in Detroit. It's just a tough football team to me. It's like it takes after Todd Bowles. Maybe I'm biased because he always wears his Marine Corps hat out there, so I'm a big Todd Bowles guy. But I do look at their offense, and, man, the offensive line is set with Wirfs and Graham Barton and Mock. And they've got solid guys up front. You mentioned the running game with Bucky Irving and Rashad White. Sean Tucker, pretty darn good as well. Look at the wide receiving group there with Evans and Godwin and Jalen McMillan, who came on. And then the backups, Sterling Shepard, Trey Palmer. I mean, it is built for speed. They're going to score some points. Could be a really good over team. But, again, the quarterback room, after Baker, it's Kyle Trask and Michael Pratt. This is all predicated on Baker Mayfield being Baker Mayfield and staying healthy. And he's as tough as they come. You can say whatever you want about Baker, and people have said a lot, but you know this. The shoulder back in Cleveland, guy plays through it. He's this Iron Man now at Tampa Bay, and as long as he's upright, this feels like a 10-win team, and 10 wins in that division probably wins the division again.
I think you're right, and if we do it in real time here, the home schedule is, I think, pretty favorable, right? So you had the division, you get Arizona and San Francisco at home. Those will be, tough teams depending on where they are in the schedule. New England, the Jets, Philly would be an intriguing game.
Sure.
I could circle that as a potential Monday night, there at Raymond James. But I think that is quite serviceable for them at home. Then you get the division on the road. This is where it gets really, really tough. You got to go to Buffalo, depending on when they go. You're going to have to go to Detroit. You got to go to Houston. You got to go to the Rams. And then you got to go to Miami. And if it's Miami early, at least they're okay. They're the one team you could look at and say, well, we're used to this down in Tampa. And then they got to go to Seattle. The road slate outside the division, that might be one of the toughest that you see in the NFL this year.
Yeah, I'm so impressed year in and year out, and people forget that heartbreaker against Washington last year where the Commanders went down there, beat them in the postseason 23-20. But again, their high-end wins last year in the regular season at Detroit, and they just slapped around Philadelphia. And, of course, the Eagles went on to win the Super Bowl last year. We all know that. But that was early on in the year, too. Like, if they nail this draft again and it's going to be defense, I have zero questions as long as Baker Mayfield is behind center. And, Jensen, I never thought year of our Lord 2025 that I'd be going to the wall for Baker Mayfield and Todd Bowles. But at some point, we have to look at the results, right, and say, yeah, they've made me a believer.
Again, that's going to be the part of when this schedule gets released, Dave, is I even think about it from a survivor perspective.
Yeah.
You talk about a team that from the get-go is got some familiarity that will really, regardless of opponent, be a huge asset in your favor. So anxious to see what they do in round one. And you would think that bolster that defense as much as possible because not too many things you got to change for where this offense is currently.
No, as you mentioned, you got a Hall of Famer out there on the edge in Mike Evans. Chris Godwin coming back from that gruesome injury. Hopefully he's okay. Gave us a thumbs up. We all remember that in the cart. But those guys are resilient, man. They are tough down there in Tampa Bay. This is not a soft team down there in Tampa, so I like their makeup a lot. VSiN fans, you got to plan your Vegas getaway. Come on, check us out here at Circa Sports. Of course, the owner here, Derek Stevens, going to give you 15% off 3 incredible properties that he owns here. Of course, Circa behind me, the D Hotel, and the Golden Gate. So whether you're lounging at Circa's stunning rooftop pools, enjoying all the excitement Vegas has to offer, you're going to save big with this promo code VSiN15. Book your stay now. CircaLasVegas.com. Use the code VSiN15 to get 15% off. Your Vegas adventure starts here. Come on back. News or Noise is next.
into VSiN By The Books, right here on VSiN.
We are back, VSiN By The Books. Dave Ross and Jensen Lewis here with you on a Monday edition, 3 days away from the NFL draft. We cannot wait for that. There will be fortunes, Jensen, that get changed on that draft night, both for teams and for players. But again, like, the numbers are going to move significantly, right? And once we see where teams go, and again, we feel like we've got it all figured out, but we don't. We feel like we do, but we don't know until we get there on Thursday night. Do you think we're going to get shock and awe early, say, in the top 5 picks, or do you think it'll be pretty much what we think is going to happen?
Yeah, at the again, prisoner of the moment here on Monday, without a boatload more news, but we will have some noise, as you well know. I think we're status quo at the moment, but I kind of want chaos.
Oh,
I want chaos starting at 2. Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly want to see if the Browns really do make the pick there.
Love it. With that in mind, let's get to this edition of News or a Whole Lot of Noise.
Is it news?
Corleone is a man who insists on hearing bad news immediately.
Or just noise?
Are you going to act like this is news? Just noise. This is noise.
Let's separate the impactful from the insignificant with one simple question. News or noise?
A lot of noise around Ashton Jensen. Where is he going to go? Of course, talented running back coming out of Boise State. Now, he did this, Jensen. I wonder what you make of it. He penned an open letter to all the GMs ahead of Thursday's draft. And this is what he said in said letter. I've taken the long way. I'm done with that way. If you pick me, it's simple. I'm coming to your franchise to do what Saquon and the Eagles just did. They just won the Super Bowl. I'm coming to win big soon. It's tackle, all caps, football. You know what I'm saying? I draft a guy they can't tackle. Jensen, is that news or noise?
I appreciate it. I mean, again, Ashton Jensen is going to get selected in the first round. He's going to go to a team that likely features him in week 1, and I think he's a difference maker. We're getting now towards, these athletes who are like, oh, I'm going to prove to people for every team that doesn't draft me or passes on me, I'm going to show them that they made a huge mistake. Great, man. Awesome. I can tell you from being the guy that was drafted coming in year 1 and then being the veteran, seeing the young pups come up, there is such a difference between college football and the NFL. Like, I think some of these guys are just kind of immune to it. Like, whatever, dude. All right, we'll see you when you get here. It's just, I appreciate it from the player. But hey, I'm old enough to remember when Johnny Manziel was like, hey, come and get me. Let's go wreck this league. Whatever. I don't buy into any of it.
I'm seeing on the big boards behind me, if my eyes aren't deceiving me, 6.5 is what we're seeing here for Ashton Jensen. As to what that number will be, where he's going to be taken, it's going to switch on different books. So depending on where you think he might go, it is interesting because I don't think anybody thought, obviously 6 feels like it's a likely destination potentially out here with the Raiders. But boy, if he doesn't get there, does he go to 10 at Chicago? I actually like the open letter stuff. I know it. I'm with you. It doesn't mean anything. And once you get there, the other guys don't care about it. But it shows me like he is saying it's tackle football and they can't tackle me. I'm telling you, GMs, to come get me. To that end, on Saturday night right here in the network on Cashing Out, Greg Peterson hosting. He had Sean Green on. If you haven't listened to the Sports Gambling Podcast, guys, they do a great job here on the network as well. Fantastic guest, fantastic host. He talked about that, what's going to happen, and monitoring basically maybe a really good landing spot for Ashton. Take a listen.
Man, I don't know. I know everyone, if you look at the odds, it's a number. It's just a certified lock for the Patriots to go offensive tackle there at number 4. I'm not so sure about that. I think they could go D-line. I think there's even some rumors maybe they shock the world and take Ginty. I don't think they're sold on the consensus left tackle there because he might not even be able to play left tackle. So,
well, there you go. There's some smoke from our guy Sean Green with Greg, and I do think that's the point. Is that we don't know. This is why the books hate this stuff, because it's all on information. But I wonder, Jensen, in their heart of hearts, if we're looking at 2 through 6, right? And right where Sean was just talking about. If those teams, depending on what happens in front of them, already technically have that envelope ready to go to the commissioner, what do you think?
I guess if I'm thinking of where number 4 is, and in his heart of hearts, is Mike Vrabel thinking that a running back is that piece that ends up putting them immediately into contention, or is someone that you rely upon for years to come? Would think that their offensive line means more in the grand scheme of things, and we've seen that the league has become a passing league. You have a mobile quarterback anyway in Drake May. You already have a guy in Ramondre Stevenson that's been pretty serviceable. I mean, I think their issues are in a far different territory. So I think this is beautiful from a gamesmanship standpoint. Why wouldn't you dangle it out there and try and see if someone, ends up saying, I kind of believe them a little bit. We need to get up there. We need to make sure we get our guy. I think it's fabulous. I would put it at probably 7% that Ashton Jonty goes at 4 to the Patriots. Now, is there a team that wants to jump up there and say he means the world to us? By all means. But the Patriots at 4, Ashton Jonty, I'll put it under 10%.
Will Campbell is the overwhelming favorite right now in the betting market at minus 450 to be that 4th overall pick to New England. Ashton right now is plus $8, but he is the second betting choice if it's not Will Campbell at number 4. To that end, WEEI in Boston has said that if Abdul Carter somehow slips past the G-Men at 3, that the Eagles, yes, the reigning, defending Super Bowl champion Eagles, could potentially trade A.J. Brown on draft day to the Patriots for that 4th overall pick and then take Abdul Carter. Oh, my goodness. Could you imagine if A.J. Brown is involved in 2 draft day trades, one from Tennessee to Philadelphia, and now from Philadelphia to New England?
I think this would be massive news. And again, the love affair, I still look at the guttural reaction, okay, from Mike Vrabel in having to answer the questions in Tennessee about why A.J. Brown was no longer. You don't have that kind of player connection, former player, current player. Like that is a significant thing. And so I think Mike Vrabel obviously knows not only from an on-the-field standpoint, but a locker room standpoint, an impact veteran, a guy who's been there, done that, a Super Bowl champion, that there's something to be said for that. And Mike Vrabel knows the worth much more than maybe any head coach that has played with those guys recently. So it makes a lot of sense that could be a viable path. Absolutely.
As a Cowboy backer, we cannot allow this to happen, Roger Goodell. This theory, we cannot keep floating this out there. By the way, right now, Abdul Carter to be the 3rd overall pick, whichever team it is. The Giants, of course, sitting in that 3 hole. They're minus 650 for the 3rd pick to be Abdul Carter. Isn't it amazing, Jensen, the conversations we were having 2 months ago, a month ago, about Abdul Carter maybe being the number 1 pick to Tennessee, and now the odds market says he's minus 650 to be slated to the 3 spot, because the 2 spot, it's minus $9 that Travis Hunter is going to go to, whether it's to Cleveland or elsewhere.
Again, this is also the news out there and the rumor mill doing what it does. I'm still in that camp of, I don't know if the Browns are as that heavy, $9 worth heavy on Travis Hunter. I do think they still field phone calls this week. Now, if you're forcing me to bet it, I think the Browns do make the pick at 2, but I don't think it's as a slam dunk right now as maybe the betting market is.
Okay, how about this? Let's see if I can tantalize you with this one. If you want to bet an exacta, like we're betting the ponies, but you can't just get win, place, show. You got to get win, place, show, win, place. The first 5 in order: Cameron Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, Mason Graham. 1 through 5 through Jacksonville. That is plus $1.15.
Wow. That's it?
That's it. I'm with you. How is that only plus $1.15? How chalky is that? I'm with you. Like, if we really believe that this is set in stone, you would bet that at plus $1.15. But that means that there has to be no chaos come Thursday night. Normally we get chaos.
Yeah, I can't get John Daigle on the line sometime this week. It starts at 6.
If it starts at 6, you bet the plus $1.15. If it doesn't, there's any chaos, Sage Genty or other, plus 330 for that. It would have to be Ashton at 5 under that scenario. I don't think he's going 5. NFL draft, it is, we love it, right? So the summer draft is here. So when you become a VSiN Pro subscriber, you better do so if you haven't done so before Thursday for that draft, because when you go to VSiN.com/subscribe, $59, it's going to cover you not just through the draft. How about all the way through August 1st? Daily best bets, exclusive betting splits, expert analysis, betting system. It's all there for you when you become a VSiN Pro subscriber.